Hey, what's up everybody? This is Daniel, aka Daniela. I'm here to make another video. As you can see, I I just made my other video just not too long ago. As you can see in the background, I'm still watching the Crip show, or the Creep show, which is one of them. It's like a cult classic for me, a cult classic. Sorry. But anyways, I was thinking about this the other day, and I wanted to talk about this for a minute. Ever since I made the one video saying Black Mother Step your game up. I actually made that video earlier this week. I uploaded it yesterday, but I made it earlier this week. Um, what I want to say is, I didn't make that video to offend black women at all. In the sense that I'm trying to be mean, but what I am trying to do is try to get black women to think about their actions. Even if you're a good black mother, I'm talking about black mothers who aren't such great mothers. And if you have a sister, even if you're a good black mother and you have a sister who's not such a great mother, or a friend or something like that, you should tell them to step the game up. To step the games up, because I know a few females who are great mothers, but they're friends to women who are terrible mothers, and they just let that shit ride out. They should not. But I'm not trying to play into the battle of the sexes. I'm not being sexist or anything like that. Especially what I'm about to say in this video. In one video where I talked about mothers step the game up, I mentioned how I work with kids, and I noticed that a lot of black mothers aren't there for their kids spiritually, mentally, but they are there for their kids financially. Physically. We're talking about the physically tangible objects like clothes, food, stuff like that. In the other video, I said that that's not enough. And the reason why I really made the video to the mothers is because in most cases, children live with their mothers, whether the child's father is in their life or not. Most of the times, the first person that they get their education from is their parents. It should be their parents. I don't think that. And another thing that inspired me to talk about this was that I was listening to a radio station the other day, or I was watching a video the other day that was talking about how they should keep religion out of schools, and that their parents should teach them, should be the ones that teach them that instead of school. Talking about the Sharia law and all this stuff. But I really think that education should come from the home. That's where the first bits of education should come from. And a lot of black mothers do a very bad job, whether it's their fault or not their fault, on teaching their kids. Because yes, the father should definitely be in the household. He should be part of that the hierarchy of teaching their children. But realistically, that cannot be the case. Even when the father's in the household, I think that the mother should be the primary caretaker of the child, especially in the child's young age. When it comes to nurturing and educating their children. To me, if I had it, in a way that would, if I was making a lot of money, so much so that my wife did not have to work, she could stay home with the kids, raise the kids, I would want that to happen. And I would want her to understand, and I want other women to understand, that it's not because I want to be the bread maker, the breadwinner, and have control of my money. Because I can tell you this: when I marry a woman, I will want her to have equal say in our finances as much as me, whether she's making the money or not. Because I will consider my wife and how she feels on this, because this is a mutual thing. I do believe that the man is the head of the household, and that he does have a little bit more power than the woman. But definitely, like the scriptures tell you, a good husband will consider his wife. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that I think it's very important for the mother to stay at home. And see, white people, they understand this concept. In other cultures, they understand this concept also, because the first teachers of your children should be their parents, specifically the mother, because her job is really to nurture and to really raise the kids, especially in a young age. And when they get older, I think that it falls more on both of the parents than just the mother. By the young age, it should really be the mother educating her children. And I think it's very important for this. This is why I think it's very important for women, if you're in a financial opportunity to stay home and be stay-at-home mothers, even if you're working from the house, that's great, because nobody cares about our children more than we do. You know, these teachers in these schools, they do not care about your kids like you should. If you really care about your children, you should be the one that should be mainly educating your children. Don't let, you know, the education sector of their lives fall into the hands of their teachers. People who really don't necessarily care about, I'm not saying that all teachers don't care about their children, but a lot of them don't. You have your children's best interest. And that's why I think it's very important for their primary source of information and education should be from their parents, mainly their mother, when they're in a young age. Because when they don't, these kids, when they're only there for the kids financially, you know, putting clothes in their back and, you know, food and stuff like that, these kids, they don't learn how to conduct themselves in society. You know, they're very unruly, uncontrolling, and I deal with this on a daily basis because I work with kids. I see this all the time. And like I mentioned in the previous video, well, not the previous one to this, but in the previous video, that in these different cases, the they're there for the kids. They come all the way up to school to cuss out a teacher for a $10 toy. They will get, you know, they will approach a child that's not theirs for a toy. They will go out of their way for their child's toys, clothes, all this stuff, but they will not go all the way up there. She hadn't been to this school in 3 years for her kid who has been suffering, you know, when it comes to his schoolwork and stuff like that. But then when it comes to the damn toy, she made her way all the way up there that morning, that same morning. You know, and I mean, a lot of mothers like that who are just, you know, it's really crazy. But, you know, and their kids really represent them to the fullest. You know, it represents how their household is. When I work with kids who are unruly, I could tell what their background is. I could tell what their household is, and most of the times I'm right. But most of the kids who are well behaved, it's because they have a father in their life. Most of them have a father in their life and are living with their father figure. But most of the unruly and bad kids, I don't really want to call them bad, but misbehaving kids, they're the ones who don't have their fathers in their lives. They're the ones who don't have the parents who care about their education and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, there are single mothers out here who do care about their kids' education. But in most cases, I don't see that many black mothers who come up to their kids' schools, you know, especially when they're suffering with school and things like that. And it's very sad. I mean, it's really sad. But, you know, that's why, you know, I believe that if you are in a financial stability, you have the financial stability to stay home and to teach your children and to do homeschooling, that would be great, because that would take your kids a long way.